Anger management. You might have heard, read, and gone through a lot of articles, videos, and documents about it. But when it really hits you, it looks like everything just goes in vain and comes back to square. It's not only about managing your anger, but any similar kind of extreme situations which you feel is beyond your control. Maybe some kind of addiction for alcohol or drugs or lust or temptations, which you feel it's not in your control. And you have tried so much to work it out because at that particular moment it feels so nice. But after that, you feel so guilty and regretted for all your deeds. You've tried a lot, but nothing seems to be working out. How can you find a permanent solution to this? If you really want a solution, you are at the right place today. Because I'm going to share the top secret behind this problem. Well, basically, it's neither my discoveries nor my management skills which I'm going to share with you, but this is the ocean of knowledge which was imparted by Lord Krishna to Arjuna when Arjuna asked similar questions to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, who appeared in the human form, never taught anything to the human race through some superpower or miracles. But he has tried giving solutions to the problems by emphasizing on human nature and karma. So in this context also, he had shared great knowledge to Arjuna so that he could fight his life's battle easily. And what's that? Now when Arjuna asked similar questions to Lord Krishna, he is saying in verse number 40 of chapter number 3, the senses, the mind, the intellect are declared to be its seat, screening the light of truth. Through these, it deludes the embedded soul. In the Gita, chapter number 3, verse number 40, God says like that. Now, what am I talking about? I started with anger management and taking all of you towards Gita and scriptures like that. Well, my friend, everything in this world is connected to the Lord. And the problems which we cannot solve, basically it's only God who can solve it. And can you imagine that, when we are trying to struggle hard to solve the problems, long time ago, even Arjuna also had similar problems. So the humankind is facing such problems. So it is not something uncommon, it is so common. So what's wrong and what's so bad about it? Let's not think otherwise, but just listen to the teachings of Lord Krishna and how he's trying to mold our life so that we can lead a better life. Let me try to make this thing more simple and clear for you. In verse 40 again, chapter number 3, he says that the senses, the mind, the intellect are declared to be its seat. Now what is that it? It is nothing but the desire. the want for something. Now, if you introspect, you will see the area of your life where you are really frustrated and you're trying to resolve it. If you focus and research a little, who is the original devil behind all this suffering in your life? That's your desire. That's your want for a particular object. But can you see it? You can't. Because what's wrong? Basically, I do it, you do it, everybody does it. So what's wrong in that? It's just, having fun. So everybody is doing that. But that's not the truth. It's never outside. It's within your mind, senses and intellect. And there where the devil of desire is sitting secretly and playing the war of your life. And what's its goal? To steal your future, to make it dark and hopeless. This enemy of your life in the form of desire deludes your soul by obscuring your judgment and leading you to believe that happiness lies in sense enjoyment. Nothing else is as important and valuable as the enjoyment in your life. And then it drags you towards your degradation and ruin. It wields your knowledge and forcibly rendering you incapable of realizing the supreme end of human existence. And that's why, after those actions we feel so bad, we feel guilty, we feel regretted. Because originally we are not made up of like that. We are made up of the values which has been inculcated within us by Lord, by the Supreme. That's how we are made up of. And when we come in contact with these senses and mind, we do these sinful acts, we feel bad. But never mind, my friend. If you have realized it, that's the first step you have already taken towards a transformation in your life. Because somehow you have started your journey towards a wonderful future. If you are seeking a change, then you are at the right place. If you truly want a solution to your problem, then what you need to do? You need to lose no time to drive out this enemy in the form of desire from your mind, intellect and senses where it has its stronghold. Yes, my friend, it's time for you to act smartly. You cannot take this thing lightly anymore. You have to drive out this enemy where it is sitting at its place. Now, how is that possible? How to control your mind and senses? How to fight with this enemy of your life which has stolen and robbed your future? How you have tried fighting with it so often but failed so badly. How can you deal with it then? Well, my friend, if you've tried fighting with it several times but failed, then know the truth that you can never fight with it. You can only avoid it. And believe me, my friend, it's easy and you can also do it. How? That's possible with intensive practice and cultivation of this passion. Cultivation of this passion is so important. You have to show an aversion towards these sensory objects in your life. You have to show no more interest in those things in your life which is causing so much havoc in your life. Create that disattachment. And then the next and most important thing is by reflecting on God's name, virtues and form and activities. Now what am I talking about? I'm talking about God's name, virtues and activities. I don't believe in Him. Well, my friend, if you really want a transformation in your life and you've tried everything and nothing seems to be happening, then you need to know that you cannot solve it. It's the Supreme who has to solve it for you. And in this world, if you really want to, I'm not saying living happily or successfully, at least you want to live peacefully. For that, you need to come to the lotus feet of the Lord. Because He is the only one who can show us the right direction. Because He is the only one who can rescue us from the great and greatest danger. So that we all can come out of this negative way of living. When you start changing your direction, you need to make sure that your actions are not getting repeated as you used to do it. You need to divert your action to doing something positive, like some public service, helping the needy, helping someone in their studies, helping in household chores, helping the elders, speaking to them sweetly and politely. Slowly and gradually you will start realizing a ray of hope and light spreading across your life, displacing the negative environment from your life. Because this is how you start regulating the functions of your mind, senses and intellect and not allow them to run wild and act in a wayward fashion. If you read the Gita further, you know the truth in verse number 42 of chapter 3 where the Lord says, the senses are said to be greater than the body, but the greater than the senses is the mind, greater than the mind is the intellect, and the greatest of all these is the self. Thus, know the truth in reality. The mind is stronger than the senses. The intellect is stronger than the mind, but the soul is the strongest of all. Therefore, desire hidden in the intellect, mind and senses tempts the soul with the prospects of enjoyment and keeps it entangled in the world. If realizing its true character and strength, the soul asserts itself and exercising restraint over the mind, senses and intellect, disallowing them with authority to drive out desire hidden as a thief, it will not have the courage to destroy your life or disobey your commands. You will become the master of your senses, mind, intellect and your life. Therefore, realizing the truth about the self is the principal means of eradicating desire. In verse number 43, Lord calls Arjuna Mahabahu, reminding him the infinite strength possessed by the soul, by the self. Basically, he is not only reminding Arjuna, but he is reminding all of us so that we can manifest its real power and strength. And that's the truth. Why are you thinking that it's not possible for you to see a bright life, bright future for yourself? You feel that your life has got ruined and it can never transform, it can never change. Because you have not known the truth about the self, about the soul, how powerful it is. Touch the soul, and the rest would just run away automatically. And that's by coming to the lotus feet of the God and taking the shelter on his lotus feet. Then only we can lead a blissful life. This is the science behind all the problems in our life. If we know this truth, we can be master of all the traits in our life and lead a victorious life. Thank you so much.